Originally belonging to this guest's great-great-grandmother, this jewelry set is undeniably captivating.
We figure that's right around 1830.
Have you ever had it looked at by an independent appraiser or a jeweler?
Dating back to the early Victorian era, circa 1830 to 1840, this set was crafted in Upper New York State, in the United States of America. The pieces are all intricately made with filigree work and gold highlights. Handmade, they boast 14-karat gold. Adorning the pieces are pink topaz gemstones, each with a red foil backing to enhance their intensity. Interestingly, the set also comes with its original box, which adds further to its value. Despite being over a century old, the jewelry remains in pristine condition. At auction, this vintage jewelry set is estimated to be worth.
If this piece were ever to come up at a public auction, I feel you would probably get for this around $1,200 to $1,500.
Behold this enchanting treasure that embodies both the innocence of childhood and the artistry of master toy makers. A Steiff Mickey Mouse from around 1935, this is a rare and cherished collectible. Steiff Company. It represents both the iconic Disney character and the exquisite craftsmanship of the Steiff brand. Mickey Mouse. Steiff, a renowned German toy manufacturer, was famous for its high-quality plush toys.
To find a early piece in fine condition is very, very rare.
Hand-stitched with meticulous details, this piece showcases remarkable craftsmanship. Large expressive eyes adorn the face of the Steiff Mickey Mouse. Typically dressed in clothing consistent with Mickey's classic look, it captures the beloved character's essence. An item that embodies the intersection of beloved character design and top-tier toy manufacturing is valued at.
On the retail market today, it's worth between $3,500 and $4,500.
Oh my.
This set was inherited by the guest from her grandmother's sister.
Dad had an appraisal.
That would have been 1990 about.
For how much?
He thinks somewhere around 40,000.
These are Cartier Paris earrings, presented in their original box. Bearing the hallmarks of Cartier Paris, the box is an authentic piece, as well as the jewelry. The earrings are each set with sapphires, measured to be 3 carats. The sapphires are particularly valuable because they show no signs of heat treatment and have a very deep, rich color. Also set in the earrings are diamonds cut in pear, square, and marquise shapes, totaling 6 carats. The guest has had the set appraised before, but our appraiser thinks she was being swindled.
You got 6 carats of diamonds. And again, they only use very fine goods.
The original diamond earring set and box from Cartier Paris will sell at an auction for a sum of.
I would say that probably at retail, say in a shop, $75,000.
Really?
Really.
Wow.
This piece was inherited from the guest's uncle, who got it from the American painter Henry Farney.
Henry Farney needed money and borrowed from my uncle, and in exchange gave him some...
Henry Farney. This bronze sculpture is the work of one of the notable figures of the 20th century, Solon Borglum. Solon Borglum. Borglum was an American sculptor, most noted for his depictions of frontier life. His experience with cowboys and Native Americans greatly influenced all his works. This sculpture, titled Horse Grazing, is no exception, featuring a detailed depiction of a horse, bearing the artist's signature on the back. The piece is dated to 1902. It also has the hallmarks of the Roman Bronze Works, the bronze foundry in New York that specialized in the lost wax casting method. This magnificent bronze sculpture, at an auction, would fetch an estimated.
Place an estimate on it, I would say between $20,000 and $30,000.
That's amazing, because through the estate...
This guest's mother acquired the piece at a rummage sale in New Jersey.
My mother bought it at a rummage sale in New Jersey 40 years ago, and about 10 years after that, she took it to an antique show and asked a jeweler about it.
The piece had been previously appraised and was referred to as paste, meaning glass made to look like diamonds. This is a silver brooch of French origin and would have been referred to as a maquette. The appraiser imagines it is a model made of paste and silver for a piece that would later be made in diamond and platinum. Pieces like these are exceedingly rare now, which adds to their intrinsic value. The appraiser dates the piece to approximately 1890, as techniques like these were widely used during that period.
I think there was a little discrepancy potentially with the 18th century comment. I would personally date this to probably about 1890.
The piece is truly a magnificent work of art, and the multiple set paste gems on the silver only make one wonder what the actual model looks like. Other than the fact that one of the stones has fallen out, the piece would be worth an estimated.
This piece in the marketplace today would be worth upwards of $800 to $1,200.
Yay!
Imagine a time when accurate timekeeping was crucial for navigation and industry. In this era, Albert H. Potter's pocket chronometer stood out as a masterpiece of mechanical engineering. Albert H. Potter. Albert H. Potter is a significant figure in horology, renowned for his innovations in pocket chronometers during the 19th century.
My grandfather was a developer in Denver. He actually had a mansion in Denver. That was finally torn down in the 50s. Family's been fairly quiet ever since.
Approximately what year did you get this watch?
2009.
A guest acquired this piece from a safety deposit box while closing his brother's estate in 2009.
I'm going to close the front of it, and it's in a massive, heavy 18-karat gold case. The movement is just beautifully jeweled.
The dial predominantly displays the maker's mark, Albert H. Potter, Geneva. Albert Potter's pieces are incredibly rare, with only about 650 ever produced.
So he made approximately 650 watches total in his lifetime. Yours, I think, was number 521, so it was a little bit later in his career.
The chronometer was crafted around the mid to late 1880s and is housed in a heavy 18-karat gold case. Opening the case reveals the intricate mechanism of the watch, featuring a distinctive balance wheel. Inside the case, the maker's trademark is also visible. Given the unique craftsmanship and rarity of this watch, it is estimated to be worth,
with your watch today at auction, $20,000 to $25,000.
That's a little breathtaking.
This pretty silver flask, dated 1888, was gifted to a guest over 30 years ago by a descendant of Mr. Moore, the receiver of this flask. The flask had a portrait of Mr. Alex R. Shepard and his signature. The story behind this is that it was originally given by Alex R. Shepard, a controversial figure and former governor of Washington, D.C. under U.S. Grant. Once a plumbing contractor turned silver magnate in Mexico, Shepard had the flasks made by Gorham in Providence, Rhode Island. He distributed them to influential figures to regain favor in American politics. This flask featured an engraving of a silver mine in Chihuahua, Mexico, a beautiful place where Mr. Alex made a fortune before returning to America. On top of the flask, the name of the mine was engraved, and the flask had a date letter for 1888 and a factory number in a rectangle indicating it was a special order. The silver used in these flasks was supplied directly by Alex Shepard. Due to its historical significance and remarkable craftsmanship, the flask was estimated to be around.
They are very, very collectible, and I think any silver collector would pay a good $10,000 for this flask.
How exciting!
Our sights are set on this magnificent antique. It belongs to a special area of collecting called Historical Staffordshire Transferware. This artifact is an English platter made in Staffordshire. Typically, pieces like these show depictions of English scenes and were made specifically for the American market. The immaculate designs were created using a decorative technique called transfer printing. This particular piece is made from porcelain. Although earthenware or ironstone are more common, the vibrant colors and intricate details highlight the craftsmanship of the period. An 18th century artifact, this piece would sell at an auction for a sum of
a retail value would likely be between $1,000 and $1,500.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Well, thanks very much for bringing it in. I enjoyed seeing it.
Thank you.
This piece was purchased by the guest's father in Pennsylvania.
This toy was purchased by my grandfather in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And I can remember as a young child sitting down and watching this every so many times.
It is an automation, a relatively self-operating machine. Pieces like these came into the market during the late 19th century. This particular piece is a clown magician automation made by Lambert, a French company. The condition of this piece is extraordinary, as all of its components are still original and intact. The appraiser demonstrates its magician automation, which is quite impressive.
He waves his wand 3 times, reveals a watch, puts it back down.
It replaces the object beneath its magical hat and also plays a musical piece.
And he's going to, in a minute or so, he'll wave his wand again, and I have a hunch the watch won't be there anymore.
Over a century old, this piece is in remarkable condition, which significantly enhances its value, bringing its worth too.
I would say on today's market, would bring anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000.
Oh my God, personally.
It's a real treasure.
This beautiful piece of jewelry was made by the Wordley, Allsop and Bliss Company in New Jersey, founded in 1909. Its roots can be traced back to 1885, when Henry Allsop became a registered jeweler. In 1891, Henry partnered with George, and the company subsequently became known as the Allsop Brothers in 1901. Following the expansion of their business in 1909, the company added Wordley and Bliss to their official name. The firm was widely known for producing top-quality jewelry at the time. They also helped major retailers sell their goods, which bore their common maker's mark, WAB. This particular piece uses a combination of rubies and moonstones set in 14-karat pink and yellow gold, bearing the common hallmark of the company. This piece would sell for.
You would be looking at an auction value of $3,000 to $4,000.
Oh my goodness.
It's very impressive.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Displayed on the show is a vintage landscape painting, which was purchased by the guest in a local shop in the early to mid-1980s.
He went to Southern California, to Los Angeles, and he met Charlie Chaplin.
The painting was meticulously created in the early part of the 20th century by Granville Redmond. Granville Redmond was an American landscape painter known for his work in tonalism and California Impressionism.
It's of Mount Tamalpais.
This is an early painting by Granville Redmond, probably done in the early part of the 20th century, maybe 1905, 1910.
What makes this painting particularly interesting is its beautiful depiction of Mount Tamalpais in California. Mount Tamalpais. The artist's signature is visible in the lower left corner of the painting. This oil on canvas features various shades of green. However, upon inspecting the lower part of the painting, one can discern what appears to be poke marks. Additionally, the painting could benefit from some cleaning. Despite these minor signs of wear and dirt, we can expect the piece to command a respectable auction price.
If this were to be sold at an auction, the estimate would be between $15,000 and $25,000.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Uncover the priceless legacy of Luis B. Ortega's rawhide braiding in a cherished family collection. A guest brought in a collection of items that belonged to their grandfather. The collection includes rawhide reins, hobbles made by Luis B. Ortega, a book signed by Ortega, and handwritten instructions for tying a hackamore. Ortega, known as the king of rawhide braiding, learned his craft from a Chumash Indian, born in 1805. Making these items is challenging. It starts with cutting strings from dried cowhide.
And you make these strings that are less than 1/4 of an inch wide, and these are about 1/16 of an inch wide.
Which are then braided with great skill. The reins in the collection are closed reins with a romal, and Ortega signed them on the inside of the popper. The hobbles are used to prevent horses from running away. Ortega had 3 levels of gear: plain rawhide, 2-color items like these reins.
Basic level was all straight rawhide. Was 1 color just like this. His second level is what this is. It's 2 colors.
And top-tier items with 3 colors and silver ferrules. The book and the letter, which detail how to tie a hackamore, add significant value to the collection. The reins and hobbles were made in around 1955. While examining the item, the appraiser said,
For this grouping, $7,000 to $10,000.
Wow. Well, it's very sentimental to me, so
I'll bet.
it's not going anywhere.
This guest's half-brother was an acquaintance of the artist and purchased the piece directly from him.
Probably one of the best well-known Indian artists in North America. And he went to school in the University of South Dakota.
This painting was done by the Native American artist, Oscar Howe. Howe was well known for his caisson and tempera paintings. He is credited with influencing contemporary Native American art, paving the path for many others to follow. This piece is a terrific example of his artistic style, marked by bright colors, dynamic motion, and pristine lines. The paintings depict a woman in front of a teepee painting a design representing a traditional Sioux life, bearing the artist's signature. This piece showcases exceptional movement, reminiscent of some of his early works in the 1940s and 50s.
This movement is real typical of what he did, and he got even more dramatic.
A spectacular piece of art presented in perfect condition. It would be an auction special going for.
If this came up for auction today, I would expect it to sell for $10,000 to $12,000.
Oh.
Every garage sale hides a potential treasure, and this metal dog sculpture is no exception. The guest bought this striking piece almost 10 years ago for a small amount. It is signed Mattia and numbered 4 of 24, showing it's by American sculptor Walter Mattia.
It's a really nice figure of a dog. It is made of bronze. We found a number of auction records by Walter Mattia.
Walter Mattia is known for his bronze animal sculptures, like this lifelike dog figure, Walter Mattia. He often sculptured wildlife like geese and wild turkeys, showing his skill in capturing nature. Example of Walter Mattia works. The guests loved the piece because it reminded them of their old dog, adding sentimental value. This find shows the market of quality craftsmanship and the surprises in unexpected places. In today's market, this bronze dog figure is valued at approximately.
If you were to sell this at auction, you would get around about $2,000.
You're kidding.
No.
At the Boise Art Museum, we find the largest collection of artworks by James Castle. Boise Art Museum, an American artist born in the small town of Garden Valley, Idaho. James Castle. He was a self-taught artist who created drawings, assemblages, and books throughout his lifetime. His artworks were almost exclusively made with scrap materials, such as paper salvaged from packaging or mail, and Castle mixed ink from soot along with other unconventional materials. Our focus is on this untitled piece made during the later period of his life, around 1976. It depicts his dream house, reflecting his desire for a space where he could work independently.
What's interesting about this piece, too, is that he's using his standard soot and spit and line drawing, but he's also incorporated the use of color.
The piece showcases his typical use of soot and spit, line drawing, and also incorporates some colors. Such a representation of the artist's work and style, in great condition, will sell for.
Comparable works on paper at auction would probably sell between $10,000 and $15,000.
Additionally, we have a rooster, an example of one of his constructed pieces, representing the animals on the ranch where he grew up. This piece is made of cardboard and joined together using strings. The provenance behind this piece and its museum quality add to its value, estimated at
Can sell for between $15,000 and $20,000.
This is a particularly beautiful set of items. It is called a chocolate set because it was made to hold hot chocolate.
Wanted me to look at some antiques, and I saw this. I fell in love with it.
The set was made in 1905 by Newcomb College Pottery. This set is beautiful thanks to its high glazed look. When we look at the body of the set, it is beautifully engraved with a landscape.
What's good about this is it's early and it's high glaze, but a lot of the early high glaze stuff is decorated in bands.
Ceramics like these are quite fragile, but these are still in crisp condition. A set like this, which is still intact, is rare to come by. Thus, at a pottery auction, this set would fetch a good price of.
I mean, to me, it's a $50,000 to $60,000 set.
No kidding.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
These plates, in ancient China, used to be a symbol of friendship. We know this because in ancient China, ladies would get together to paint these plates, hence the wear is referred to as China painting. These plates are significantly special because they're signed by the artist, Franz Bischoff. Franz was primarily known for his China paintings, and these plates serve as a piece of his genius.
Ladies of fashion would get together in China painting parties and paint these plates or blanks. So all of these blanks have a mark on the back of them. We won't turn them around.
What's more, Franz taught many ladies in the 20th century this China style of painting.
About this other signature here. Okay. So it says Franz A. Bischoff. Franz Arthur Bischoff.
Plates like these are quite rare and highly sought after. Hence, at an auction, these plates would sell for
This platter, which is a nice big one, at $10,000 to $15,000. $10,000 to $15,000.
Aside from the fact that this item is shaped like a lion, it is also quite special. This is because it is a stark representation of folk art magnificence. What's more, it was carved from coal, which is quite unusual to see. The carved lion communicates the technical skill of its carver. It is believed that the idea behind the carving of this piece was inspired by the Egyptians, since it is still in top condition. It is likely it was carved in the first quarter of the 20th century. A folk art carved piece like this would be highly prized among collectors. Hence, this coal carved lion at a suitable auction would fetch.
We think that a good pre-auction estimate for that would be $6,000 to $8,000.
Really?
These cups look like royal cups that were used at distinguished events. The cups were created for the Turkish market between the 1830s and 1840s. It is believed that they were used for holding black Turkish coffee. They have a gold body and a porcelain enameled cup over it. Also, on the cup's body, there are beautiful pearls which signify their value.
This is what we call Swiss enameling, all this foliate design, the flowers, then the gold overlaid with green, and then the little pearls. These are really quite extraordinary.
Hence, cups like these are called Swiss enamel and pearl coffee cups. Cups like these are extraordinary to possess because they were expertly made. At an auction, these royal cups would retail for.
You're looking at something probably in the $40,000 to $60,000 range.
Wow.
These artifacts originate from the Sioux region of the Native American tribes in the Great Plains of North America, Sioux people. They are weapons that were likely used in the first half of the 19th century. This collection includes a club with the tacking, which is typical of Plains Indians, and the Otto carved on top.
It was meant for business.
And I want you to notice the tacking, which is diagnostic for planes, but also we have an otter carved in the top.
While the form of the club dates back as early as the 17th century, in the Northeast, this particular piece dates back between 1840 and 1860. Highly sought after by collectors and enthusiasts alike, this piece has an estimated value of.
And so I'm going to say conservatively it's $30,000 to $40,000.
For a similar piece of this.
Exactly.
Additionally, we have an extraordinary tomahawk with an elaborately decorated handle, called a haft.
This area is called the drop. These black and white beads are called pony beads.
It bears a spontaneous shaped metal head, which the appraiser suggests was made by an American blacksmith and traded to the Native Americans. At the base of the weapon is the drop, beautifully designed with pony beads, which helps date the piece to around 1840 to 1850. Despite some of the pony beads being missing, this tomahawk is estimated to be worth.
This pipe tomahawk is worth $60,000 to $80,000.
Guest's grandmother returned from her honeymoon in France with these exquisite pieces.
My grandmother loved these pieces. She wore them a lot. My mom did. Both of them passed away when I was fairly young, so my sister and I inherited, and we've worn them and enjoyed them.
This is a beautiful jewelry set made in Paris around 1926, consisting of a brooch and necklace. Paris. The brooch features paved diamonds set in platinum with a baguette-shaped diamond in the center. It is fully articulated and can be detached to fit onto the pendant of the necklace.
The actual brooch fitting on the back of this pin unscrews. And so you would take this brooch fitting off, and then you would take this piece and it would hang from this piece here.
The necklace's pendant is made of aquamarine, designed to perfectly accommodate the brooch. Despite bearing no hallmarks, the maker of this exquisite piece remains lost to history. This jewelry set showcases timeless craftsmanship and aesthetic appeal. Presented in very good condition, this jewelry set is estimated to be valued at
About $30,000.
This piece was purchased in Los Angeles as a gift by the guest's father to his parents.
Purchased by my grandfather in about 1909.
Okay.
It was to be a wedding present or an anniversary present to his parents.
Oh, okay.
It is a Tiffany leaded glass and patinated bronze table lamp featuring an impressive 18-inch shade with green and yellow coloration. This piece is exquisite. The design on the shade depicts a striking poinsettia pattern with vibrant red poinsettias encircling it. Removing the shade reveals the Tiffany Studios hallmark, confirming its authenticity. Tiffany Studios, overseen by Louis Comfort Tiffany, was renowned for its decorative arts. Louis Comfort Tiffany, particularly stained glass, and was associated with the Art Nouveau and aesthetic movements.
Poinsettia is a good collectible shade, and this is a twisting kind of trunk form base, beautiful base, very desirable for collectors.
The lamp's base also bears the company's hallmark. With its distinctive poinsettia shade and twisting trunk form base, this Tiffany lamp is valued at
I would say a safe auction estimate for this is $30,000 to $40,000.
Great.
Dollhouse furniture can be charming and nostalgic, but this collection is incredible. The guest brought in a collection of dollhouse furniture purchased by her father in the early 1940s with plans to build a doll's house for her. Although the house was never built, she was allowed to carefully play with the furniture, which remained in excellent condition along with its original boxes. The appraiser explained that the furniture was made by Tootsie Toy, a company in Chicago. Tootsie Toy is known for producing detailed die-cast toys. The set features details such as a flocked surface on the upholstered furniture.
If you look at the upholstered furniture, they use like a flock.
Also, the period-specific kitchen items like a monitor-top refrigerator and a Hoosier-type cupboard.
When you go into the kitchen, it's just so detailed. They have a monitor-top refrigerator. They have the type of stove they would use in a day, a Hoosier-type looking cupboard.
The appraiser valued each set to be
Each set is conservatively valued at about, I'd say, $200 to $300.
But collectively, the appraiser estimated the worth as
An auction estimate would be $2,500 to $3,000 for everything because you have all 8 of these.
Oh my.
Step into the world of automotive history, where miniature marvels tell tales of design and innovation. These aren't mere toys, but intricate tools that shape the very cars we admire today.
The Hudson Motor Car Company was an independent automobile manufacturer that was in operation from 1909 to 1954.
Behold, the Hudson Design Studio models, crafted not for play, but for perfection. Hudson Motor Car Company. These miniature masterpieces were the palette for automotive artistry. But feast your eyes on this quarter-scale wonder. It's a testament to Hudson's craftsmanship. Handmade from die-cast aluminium, it's a 1932 New York Auto Show showstopper.
They were later on display at the 1933 Chicago World's Fair. They were handmade.
Every detail, from hood ornament to latch, is an exact replica of its full-sized counterpart. With only 5 known to exist, this small coupe, with its rumble-style seat, could fetch a staggering
Definitely bring more. It could bring 40, 45. Who knows? But this one ain't going anywhere.
That's for sure. Thank you very much, Noel. It's been fun talking to you.
Nestled in the riverbeds of Tennessee, sands are transformed into these captivating pearls. Tennessee riverbed. These aren't your typical pearls, but rare Tennessee pearls, once as common as pebbles in a creek bed. A collection spanning generations, from grandmother to granddaughter, each pearl a testament to family history and local heritage. Once sold for measly sums, these aquatic gems now fetch hundreds of dollars apiece. From creamy whites to coveted shades, these pearls showcase nature's diverse palette. One special rose-hued pearl, a high school graduation gift, now valued at a staggering
with the rosé?
Yes.
Another pearl, once part of a wedding dress, carries sentimental value beyond measure. With the damming of rivers, these natural wonders have become increasingly rare, their value skyrocketing.
Very much anymore.
Not at all.
No. After the Tennessee Valley Authority built the dam and everything, the mussels started to disappear, right?
Yes.
This entire collection, a mix of history, sentiment, and rarity, is now worth.
You look at the collection, there's $6,500 here, you know, at auction.
Only a few photographs can accurately communicate with their viewers. These photographs are among them, and they were taken by Fred Mayer. Fred was known for taking many folk art photos, and these items are no different. These photographs depict the Blackwood Indians in 1900. We also have photographs of the Indians performing their tribal sun dances.
Many of the Northern Plains Indians did, that was basically an initiation rite of a boy into manhood. It was a ceremony that was very seldom photographed.
These photographs are an important piece of Native American tribal art. To any tribal arts collector, they would be highly prized. At a suitable auction, these photographs would fetch the price of.
You've got here, you probably have somewhere between $7,000 and $10,000 worth of photographs.
Wow, that's wonderful.
This collection would be highly prized by many art collectors. The reason is that it belonged to the famed artist Keith Haring. Keith was widely recognized as an artist whose work was seen as visual language. The story behind this collection is quite interesting.
First of all, I'm not hip enough to collect Keith Haring by myself. My daughter, who was a teenager at the time, had a Keith Haring Swatch watch, and she encouraged me to get interested, and I did. He came to Cranbrook in '87.
This archive is quite special because it helps us visualize the life of Keith and learn from it. The collection contains various materials.
A series of subway drawings in the subways of Manhattan. And he did, as you said, watches, and he did small objects that he sold.
A collection like this would surely ensure that his legacy lives on for years to come. At a suitable auction, this legacy, in the form of an archive, would sell for.
I would value it between $12,000 and $18,000.
Oh, that's great. I'll never sell it, though, so.
Books with personal inscriptions hold special value, like this collection of Dr. Dolittle books by Hugh Lofting. The guest presented a collection of Dr. Dolittle books and illustrations gifted to his father by Hugh Lofting. The books, inscribed with personalized messages and little drawings, were treasured by the family. The guest explained that his grandfather was a Hollywood screenwriter.
My grandfather was in the movie business. Both of my grandparents were. He was a screenwriter.
Who was friends with Lofting, which led to this unique collection. Among the items were original illustrations, including a color interior illustration and the cover illustration for Dr. Dolittle's post office, both signed by Lofting. The appraiser noted the high value of the collection and valued the 9 books and letters as.
The 9 books that you have here, they probably run in the $2,000 range for the 9 books. The letters would be in the $500 range.
And the illustrations to be.
I would say is about a $2,000 illustration. It's beautiful. But even though the other one's smaller, you have the cover illustration. It's probably about a $4,000 illustration.
The appraiser valued them collectively as.
The price, if you add it all up, it's $8,500 in a retail level. And it's just a fabulous collection.
Well, that's great. My brother and sisters are not getting any of this.
A unique piece of art, a chalk drawing on black paper by Keith Haring, was framed under glass and preserved in good condition. Keith Haring, born in Pennsylvania, moved to New York City in 1978 and quickly gained fame for his vibrant public art.
New York embraced him and he embraced them. He was a superstar.
He believed art should be for everyone and created numerous subway drawings daily between 1980 and 1985. About 20 years ago, the guest inherited this artwork from his partner, who cut it from a subway wall in the early 80s. Keith's Haring legacy extends beyond his art. Diagnosed with AIDS in 1988, he spent his final years promoting art, supporting children's work and addressing AIDS issues through his foundation. This inherited drawing holds significant sentimental value for the owner, as his partner also died of AIDS. At auction, this sentimental piece is estimated to be worth between...
At auction, I would estimate it between $30,000 and $50,000.
You're kidding.
No.
Oh my God.
A remarkable dagger, a jambia, stands out for its intricate and historical craftsmanship. This extraordinary jambia was inherited from a guest's wife's uncle's estate. The white jade hilt is adorned with rubies, amethysts, garnets, and turquoise, their authenticity untested. Finely carved wadded steel blade, adorned with detailed hunt scenes, are complemented on the silver sheath. While the hilt likely dates to the early 17th century, Mughal India, the blade is from the 18th century. This dagger is a fascinating mosaic, blending elements from different eras and religions.
Areas between Turkey and Syria and down through Palestine and into the Hejaz.
Its journey culminated in the intricate craftsmanship of Ottoman Turkey. Currently, such Ottoman weapons are highly desirable among collectors. At auction, this jambia is valued around...
These are selling right now at auction in the range of $15,000 to $20,000.
Wow. That's way more than I thought, yeah.
A notable piece of cultural heritage, this kashina holds a special place in the guest's family history, dating back to the 1800s. Originating from the Hopi tribe, it is one of the earliest types of kashinas, likely crafted around the mid-19th century, circa 1850.
I mean, most of the kachinas you see are articulated, they're standing, and they're three-dimensional.
These kashinas were traditionally made by Hopi men, with skill and reverence. They were bestowed upon young girls to share tales of tribal gods and mythology. Carved from cottonwood and adorned with natural mineral pigments, this kashina features a distinct headdress known as a tableta, symbolizing clouds. Its flat-back design suggests it was once hung on the walls of a kiva after its ceremonial use. Valued for its rarity and historical significance, this early Hopi kashina is estimated to fetch between...
I think a good conservative figure, retail figure for this would be about $12,000 to $15,000.
I told my family I would practice my wows, but I'm not going to say wow. I am impressed, though.
A remarkable needlework table cover, dating back to 1789, is a cherished heirloom within its current family.
We believe, of course, by the date on it that it was made in 1789.
Notably large and exceptionally executed, the table cover stands out for its intricate details, including a basket motif with finely detailed birds and decorative elements resembling half fans. It distinguishes itself from more common English needlework styles typically seen in collections. Crafted by the guest's great-great-great-great-grandmother, who immigrated from Holland to settle in New York after a period in England, the piece represents a rare example of Dutch needlework tradition. Dutch traditional needlework embodies meticulous artistry and cultural significance rarely seen in heirloom textiles. Given its historical significance and superb craftsmanship, it's worth the insurance value of...
We feel very comfortable with an insurance figure of $40,000.
Wow, my grandmother will be very happy, I'm sure, to hear that.
A Chinese incense burner has become a cherished family heirloom, passed down from the guest's aunt to her mother. Likely made from Hongmu, the incense burner features intricate Qilong dragons descending into celestial clouds. Originally, a semi-precious stone would have filled the circular cavity, which is now missing. It is larger than typical censers, measuring around 10 to 10.5 inches in diameter. Chinese characters on the bottom identify it as a Great Ming Xuande rain mark from 1425, made by the Wu family in 1430. However, this censer dates from the 17th to 18th century, as most Xuande-marked bronzeware was produced then.
So a great deal of bronze went into this. It was well cast. It's all very finely done.
Consistent with the 17th to 18th century late Ming and early Qing censers, the interior shows signs of use. In its current clean state with a 20th century patina, the incense burner has a retail value of...
With a 20th century patina, frankly, it would have a retail value of $7,000.
Wow.
30 years ago, a couple of intricately crafted discs were purchased at an estate sale. Noted for their gilded finish, the discs' backs resemble mirror forms, but serve another function. Fine etchings with rubbed gilding highlight the surface now worn to reveal patinated bronze. Crafted in China for the Japanese market, they are blending Chinese craftsmanship with Japanese aesthetic preferences. Initially mistaken for mirrors, these objects are actually cup stands dating back to the late 17th century.
To have a very small cup with a foot that would fit inside the cup ring here.
Made in Tonkin, North Vietnam, during the late Ming Dynasty, they were intended for exports to Japan. Despite their age, the pair has remained intact. Although the original cups that fit into their rings have been lost over time, these Chinese Tonkin gilt bronze cup stands now hold a conservative auction estimate of
A fair but conservative auction estimate of $5,000 to $8,000 on today's Chinese decorative arts market.
That's incredible. That's wonderful. They are extraordinary.
A painted button by artist Carol Clower stands out as a unique piece of art. Carol Clower, a Southern artist born in 1913 in Earle, Arkansas, became well known for his surrealist paintings of Southern subjects, often invoking precious memories of his childhood. A self-portrait of Clower, the oil-painted button likely dates from the 1960s or 1970s. This button, inscribed with "My father was big as a button," was used by Clower during his shows, making it a unique and atypical piece compared to his usual larger canvases. This item came into the family from a neighbor, who was a friend of Bill Womack, a fellow artist and friend of Clower.
It was given to her.
I just love to have those personal, anecdotal stories about a work of art.
Despite its unusual medium and size, the button's unique story and connection to Clower gave it an auction estimate of
I would suggest that the value of this would fall in the $5,000 to $7,000 range.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
A rare first edition of Gone with the Wind, signed by Margaret Mitchell, is the item in question. This copy, published in May 1936, features Mitchell's signature, a rarity as she disliked signing books. Despite some wear, including a missing piece on the dust jacket and soiling on the pages, it remains in very good condition. Acquired from a bookstore in South Florida, the book was gifted to the guest by her husband. Margaret Mitchell wrote Gone with the Wind while recovering from an auto accident in 1935, submitted to Macmillan. The manuscript impressed the editor, prompting Mitchell to spend years revising it. This true first edition, with its rare signature, is especially valuable.
If you go to this page, this says May 1936. This is the true first edition.
Although not in mint condition, the book's auction estimate is between
Today, you would put an auction estimate of $3,000 to $5,000.
Oh, wonderful.
An item of historical significance was brought in by a guest.
Passed on to me.
What you have here is a classic Confederate enlisted belt buckle.
A classic Confederate enlisted belt buckle, accompanied by a photograph of their great-great-uncle. Noted for its rarity as a non-excavated example, such belt buckles are often found with broken prongs when unearthed. Passed down through generations, it came into the possession of the guest via their grandmother. This Confederate belt buckle is cherished for its historical value. It stands as a tangible link to a pivotal era of America, capturing the essence of a bygone time. This artifact, paired with a photograph that adds personal and historical context, enhances its value and significance. Along with the picture, the Confederate belt buckle is estimated to have a retail value between
You have a set that's going to retail in the neighborhood of $3,000 to $3,500.
Wow, I had no idea.
a historic World War I telegram transmitted by a radio operator just after the armistice was signed, announcing the end of the war. The great-uncle of the guest, the operator, initialed, dated, and noted the time he received responses from each army. This message, filled with real-time annotations, provides a glimpse into the final moments of the war.
Obviously, there were probably more than one of these. There would have been ones from the Germans and the French and the British.
He also wrote a letter to his father describing the events and mentioning the transmission of the message. Though the exact location of the transmission is unconfirmed, it is believed to be Souilly, France. A photo labeled "Somewhere in France" shows the great uncle at his signaling device, alongside the letter and telegram. This telegram, letter, and photograph together form a rich historical narrative. A combination of these items, especially with their original annotations and context, significantly enhances their value. This unique piece of history is valued at a minimum value of.
I would say we're looking at a minimum retail value of $2,000 to $2,500.
Oh, okay. That's more than I expected, really. So.
A bacon banjo, a cherished family heirloom, was passed down from a father to the guest just before his death. During the Depression, the father, a construction worker, played this banjo in St. Louis with Larry's Rolling Stones band. This banjo is a very unusual model, made of maple, with intricate simulated pearlwork known as celluloid. It is identified as the Sultana Silver Bell, and it features detailed craftsmanship. The back of the resonator bears a label indicating it as Style No. 1, manufactured in Connecticut. During its heyday in dance bands, the banjo was valued for its loud projection, but declined with the rise of the electric guitar. Primarily for its parts, the banjo has gained value due to a resurgence in the USA of tenor banjos. In today's market, given its condition and complete with its case, it is valued at approximately.
In the condition that it's in, with the case and everything, you'd probably be looking around $3,500 for this.
Oh, great.
A cherished heirloom, this doll originally belonged to the guest's mother and dates back to 1919. This exquisite 7-inch all-bisque doll hails from Germany and was crafted by designer Janine Orsini. Commissioned by the distributor George Borgfeldt, these dolls were manufactured by the esteemed German doll company ABG. Labeled as Vivi, the doll is part of a charming series that includes Didi, Mimi, Cici, and Fifi.
There is also a Didi, a Mimi, a Cici, and a Fifi.
Vivi's hair is made of mohair, and she still sports her original wig. Remarkably well preserved, this doll's sentimental value is matched by her significant monetary worth. This valuable piece is not just a family treasure, but also a collector's dream. Despite her small size, this beautiful and nostalgic doll, Vivi, is valued between.
If you look at a doll this size, you probably wouldn't think it is worth between $3,000 and $4,000.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah.